Electric type Pokemon are probably some of my favourite type of Pokemon. They're fast, they hit hard, but they are pretty frail. In this video, I want to beat Pokémon Sword in a hardcore Nuzlocke using only electric type Pokemon. Oh, did I mention that I'll only be using shiny Pokemon? Well yeah, that's what I'm going to do. As none of the starters are electric type or evolve into an electric type, I can't use them. My real starter is in Route 1, as here's where I can find myself a Grubbin who looks amazing as a shiny. I catch the Grubbin and I name it Xando, only to realise he doesn't have an electric typing yet and he can't technically be used. Luckily in Route 2, I find myself a Yamper who at first I didn't realise was even a shiny until it sparkled. Our true starter for the run is caught and he's named Carl. With our shiny puppy, we take on Hop and just start biting our way through all of his Pokemon. Hop runs out of Pokemon and we get the easy win. As we head to the train station, our mums literally give us camping gear and tell us to fend for ourselves in the wild. Now quickly, just like my other shiny Monologue videos, I am playing a modded version of the game that has increased shiny odds. With that out of the way, I used the time stone from Thanos to bring us back into November, giving the wild area thunderstorm weather. In this weather, we can find ourselves an Electrike who I named Cookie, followed by a Joltik who I decided to name Chick. Wow, they really made Hop a bit of a spoiled brat in this game. Some manners wouldn't kill you, mate. We get to the hotel and we have our first encounter with Team Yell. Thankfully, Chick is surprisingly fast and strong for a little spider. It can bug bite her way through their Pokemon with ease. The next day, we're introduced to all of the gym leaders that I will eventually take out along with other gym challenges. Hop then blocks a path for another battle, but he has no answer to Chick, who can electro web her way through all of Hop's Pokemon, leaving him baffled. Now we need to deal with Bede and his stupid smug face. Chick once again takes the lead and can slice Bede's team entirely with Fury Cutter, which is super effective and only gets stronger when used consecutively. In Route 4, we get our hands on a shiny female Pikachu who I name Sleepy. I waste no time and I use a Thunderstone to evolve her into a Raichu and she's added to the team. Xando also evolves and is now an electric type and can be added to the squad. With my team ready, we head to take on the first gym leader, Milo. Chick continues to carry the run, using Fury Cutter on Gossifleur, taking it out while the move is getting stronger. Eldegoss then Dynamaxes and takes big damage from a Fury Cutter, then it hits Chick with a Max Overgrowth, which I can eat and then follow up with another Fury Cutter, taking it out. Milo is beaten and he gives us our first gym badge. I then quickly head to the Digger Brothers and grab myself a Thunderstone, allowing Xando to evolve into a Vikavolt, who by the way, looks like a steel bug type Pokemon when shiny. I waste no time and throw Xando straight into the action against Hop. Xando then turns into Thor and starts thunderbolting all of Hop's Pokemon one by one until there's nothing left. Vikavolt is an absolute monster. Listen, Chairman Rose, I know that you're a big deal around here, but please can you put on some pants? Now that we're at Hullberry, we can go on a fishing trip and after a bit of time, we land a shiny Chinchou who will be vital for Kabu. I name her Lulu and we continue on. Not long after, we head straight to the next gym leader, Nessa. Sleepy takes the leads and sets up with a Nasty Pot, doubling her special attack. From here, Sleepy can just Thunderbolt all of Nessa's Pokemon, taking them all out. Even her Dynamax Dreadnought can't hold on and falls to a single hit. Nessa freaks out, but eventually hands over the second gym badge. Bede then stops us, demanding a battle, so I send in his worst nightmare, Chick. Once again, this is a straightforward victory as Chick starts slicing through his Pokemon with Fury Cutters. Ponyta did actually outspeed and gave me a mini heart attack, but thankfully Chick held on and finished off Bede's last Pokemon. Alright Kabu, just chill man. I'm sure it was inconvenient that they got in the way, but to say it's unforgivable is a bit of an overreaction, don't you think? As we clear through the mines, Carl finally evolves into his final evolution. We head back to the hotel and before we can rest, Marnie wants to punish her Pokemon. Xando takes the lead and Thunderbolts Croagunk to its death. Scraggy comes in and it can barely keep its pants up, however it actually survives a Thunderbolt but eventually goes down after another one. Last is Morpeko and an Exeter is enough to finish it off, defeating Marnie. After the battle, we get a couple of big evolutions. First Cookie evolves into a Manectric and then shortly after, Lulu evolves into a Lantern. Now we have to take on Kabu and his 3 fully evolved fire Pokemon. With Lulu's new evolution, we are well and truly prepared for Kabu. I Dynamax Lulu and get hit with a Will-O-Wisp from Ninetales. Expecting this, I hold a Roseberry and I recover from the burn. Lulu then destroys Ninetales with a Max Geyser while also setting up the rain. Arcanine comes in and it lands a Will-O-Wisp, burning Lulu, which is fine. Lulu then hits back with a Max Geyser and Arcanine is washed straight back to Kabu. Kabu then switches in his ace, Centiskorch, who also Gigantamaxes. Lulu hits it with a Max Geyser and it hangs on by a thread. It responds with a Max Flutterby, but Lulu can eat the hit pretty easily. On the next turn, a Bubble Beam is enough to take out Centiskorch, bringing Kabu on his knees. He gives us our third gym badge and we can move on. Oh, if it isn't the trainer endorsed by the champion. What was your name again?
Who the hell are you?
You know. You all know exactly who I am. Say my name.
You what? I don't have a damn clue who the hell you are.
Yeah, you do. Now, say my name.
You're Michael.
You're goddamn right.
In Route 6, we continue to soft reset as there's a particular shiny fossil I want to get my hands on. After some time, we revive this abomination of a Pokemon who I named Juvia. Also, Artist Duncan will always get a mention in any Sword and Shield playthrough as this guy looks nuts. Hopper's depressed and he's on a bit of a losing streak, and for some reason, he thought challenging me would be a good idea. Carl takes the lead and destroys Cramorant with a single spark. Lulu then tags in from here and takes out the rest of Hop's Pokemon pretty comfortably. Next on the agenda is Bay and her fighting type Pokemon. And now it's Carl's time to shine. Carl is able to set up with 2 bulk ups, raising both his defense and attack by 2 stages. Carl then uses Psychic Fangs on Hitmontop and takes it out. Pangoro comes in, so Carl Dynamaxes and hits Pangoro with a Max Lightning, taking it out. Surfetch is next to be sacrificed as a Max Mindstorm is too much for it. Last is a Gigantamax Machamp, who although looks intimidating, can't do a thing as it falls to a Max Mindstorm from Carl. Bay then adjusts her shirt and then gives us our 4th gym badge. We run into Bede and he's lost his mind, so I try to smack some sense into him. I decide to show no mercy, so I send in Chick, who can start slicing through Bede's Pokemon once again with Fury Cutters. When Ponyta comes in, I play it safe and I switch in Xander, who can finish it off with a Bug Buzz. After the battle, Chick does evolve and now I have a giant spider in my ranks. Opal and her fairy types are next to be dealt with. Weezing hits Xander with a Sludge, which is taken well. Xander then takes out the Weezing with a big Flash Cannon. Opal then brings in Togekiss, but she decides to throw the fight as I answer her question correctly, doubling Xander's speed, allowing him to outspeed and Thunderbolt it straight back to Opal. Mawile does try to save the day, but it's a frail Pokemon and it can't handle a Thunderbolt. Last is a Gigantamax Alcremie, who does survive a Max Steel Spike from Xando. She responds with a G-Max Finale, but Xando can eat it and then follow up with a kill on the next turn. Opal tosses her umbrella into the crowd and then hands over our 5th gym badge. Hop then blocks the bridge and wants another battle. I decide to give Juvia some love and let it take the lead. Hop leads with Trevenant, who falls to a couple of aerial aces. Snorlax comes in and surprisingly survives a big low kick from Juvia. Thankfully, it goes for a stockpile, raising its defenses. Hop then uses a Hyper Potion, healing them back up, but eventually a couple of low kicks are enough to take it out. Bolton is brought in, only to be taken out with an Earthquake from Juvia. Hop then decides to send Heatmore to an early grave as Juvia earthquakes him also. Last is Erase Inteleon, so I switch in Sleepy, who can take a Snipe Shot well, but then on the next turn, take out the Inteleon with a Thunderbolt. In Route 7, I run around for a bit to find a shiny Toxel. She is caught and named Branch. I then waste no time to level up Branch, allowing her to evolve. Now we have to deal with Gordy and his Rock-type Pokemon. I tell you what, this man can move. That flip when he throws a Pokeball will always impress me. Lulu leads and she can one-shot Barbicle with a Thunderbolt. Shuckle is much bulkier, but nothing a couple of Scalds can't deal with. Sojourner is pretty thick, but Lulu can Dynamax and finish off this Pokemon with a Max Geyser. Last is a Gigantamax Colossal, but this thing was doomed from the start as it's quad weak to a Max Geyser in the rain. Gordy adjusts his glasses and then hands over our 6th gym badge. Hop has his confidence back and wants to have another battle. Juvia can deal with Hop's double with a couple of low kicks. Snorlax swaps in, and after Hop heals him a few times, Juvia can get the kill with a few low kicks. Hop then brings in Inteleon, and Juvia gets one more hit on before I switch in Lulu, who can eat a Snipe Shot well. On the next turn, Lulu can take out Inteleon with a Thunderbolt. Pincurchin comes in, but a couple of Scalds from Lulu disposes it quickly. Last is Corviknight, and this little bird is zapped straight back to Hop, giving us another win over our rival. Team Yell are harassing an old man, so I bully their Pokemon until they run away. We then get to the 7th gym and it's been locked down. Thankfully, Marnie knows a secret way in and even warms up our Pokemon before the gym fight. Although I think she's taking it a bit too seriously. Beat our team into the ground? Geez, Marnie, that's a bit rough. Branch gets some spotlight and takes out the Liepard with a couple of discharges. Scrafty comes in and Branch paralyzes him with a Nuzzle. From here, Zendo tags in and 2 Bug Buzzers later, Scrafty falls. Toxicroak is next and a couple of Thunderbolts from Zendo takes him out. Last is Hermopeka and Juvia comes in and it somehow survives an Earthquake. Marnie heals it on the next turn, but Juvia follows up with an Earthquake and gets a better roll, taking it out. I make my way down a sketchy alleyway, only to find that the Team Yell are some of the most athletic grunts in Pokemon history, just casually backflipping all over the place. Piers is holding a live concert, and I'm kind of in a hurry, so I break up the party and we begin the battle. Zendo protects on the first turn, anticipating a fake out, which happens. Then 2 Thunderbolts from Zendo take out the Scrafty, while leftovers keep us healthy. Malamar comes in, and this thing is quad weak to a Bug Buzz, absolutely destroying it. Next is his ace Obstagoon, who goes for a Throat Chop, rendering Bug Buzz useless as it's a sound-based move. Zendo then goes for a couple of Thunderbolts, and with the help of Paralysis, gets the KO on Obstagoon. Skuntank is his last line of defense, but a couple of overdrives from Branch is too much and takes it out, beating Piers and getting our hands on our 7th gym badge. We now have the hardest gym yet, Raihan and his Dragon Pokemon. Well, supposedly Dragon Pokemon. He leads with a Flygon and a Gigalith, while I have Lulu and Zendo out. Flygon hits both my Pokemon with a Breaking Swipe, also dropping our attack. Lulu then hits Flygon with a big Ice Beam, taking it out. Zendo lands a Flash Cannon on Gigalith, which leaves him below half health. Gigalith goes for a Rock Blast, but somehow Zendo dodges the attack. Lulu then scalds a Sandaconda, leaving him in the red while also getting the burn. Sandaconda hits Zendo with a Fire Fang, which he eats up. Then Zendo takes out the Gigalith with a second Flash Cannon. Raihan then brings out his ace, Duraludon, who Gigantamaxes. Zendo then goes for a Protect, expecting a Max Rocks Fall from the Duraludon, which is exactly what happens. Lulu then follows up with a Max Hailstorm, doing respectable damage. At the end of the turn, Hail and Burn damage take out the Sandaconda, making this a 2v1 fight. Expecting another Max Rocks Fall on Zendo's spot, I switch in Juvia, who can take the hit well. Lulu then does another Max Hailstorm and Duraludon is left in the yellow. Juvia protects, expecting a G-Max depletion in his slot, which is once again exactly what happens, allowing Lulu to finish the battle with one last Max Hailstorm. For some reason, Raihan talks about taking a selfie before handing over our last gym badge for the run. We catch the train and we head straight to Winden City for the championship matches. It is here that I can drug up my Pokemon, giving him some serious stat boosts. Our first match is against Marnie and her Dark types. Liepard goes for a Nasty Plot, raising her special attack by 2 stages. Chick then goes for a Sticky Web, slowing down the rest of Marnie's Pokemon as they come in. On the next turn, a Bug Buzz takes out the Liepard in a single hit. Scrafty comes in and a couple of Thunderbolts take it out, but Chick is also very low in health. I switch in Carl for free as Toxicroak goes for a Sucker Punch. Carl then hits Toxicroak with a Psychic Fangs, taking it out. Morpeko comes in and Carl can't touch it, so I bring in Branch, who can take a bite on the switch. Branch goes for a Boom Burst, which easily takes it out. Last is mine is Gigantamax Grimmsnarl, so I Dynamax Branch and we go for a Max Ooze, which does just over half. Grimmsnarl goes for a G-Max Snooze, leaving Branch on dangerously low health. However, Branch can outspeed and take out the Grimmsnarl in the next turn, giving us the win. Next is Hop and his final team. I lead with Carl and I set up with 4 Bulk Ups, raising my attack and defense on his double. Even at plus for attack, it does take a few turns to take out the double, as it did raise its defense to the max with Cotton Guards. But from this point, Carl was let off the leash and went to work. Snorlax was the first to suffer with the Psychic Fangs from Carl. Pinchurchin comes in and Carl does the exact same thing to it. Corviknight then gets hit by a big spark from Carl, taking it out. Last is Hop's Inteleon, and even when Dynamax, it still goes down to a single spark from Carl, beating Hop for the last time. The security guards then try to block the path to the train station, but Pierce decides to start jamming, creating a stampede of people, clearing the path. We get to Rose Tower and we make our way to the top. At the top, Elena is waiting for us, and clearly she needs to take some stress leave. Carl takes the lead and goes for a bulk up, raising his defense and attack stat. Frostlass then throws a spanner in the works as it goes for Icy Wind, doing some damage, but more annoyingly dropping my speed. I was 100% expecting a Will-O-Wisp. On the next turn, it does in fact go for a Will-O-Wisp, which Carl can recover from with a Rawsberry, before taking out the Frostlass with a Fire Fang. Milotic is next, but Carl can still outspeed and take it out with a Spark. Next up is Salazzle, so I Dynamax Carl and he gets hit with a Poison Gas. Carl then hits Salazzle with a Max Mind Storm, taking her out. Serena comes in and Carl can Max Flare this Pokemon into a crisp. Last is a Gigantamax Garbodor, who is outsped and taken out with a Max Mind Storm from Carl, getting us the win. We head back to the championship matches and B decides to gate crash the party. I lead with Branch, who's learned a new move, Shift Gear. This is basically Dragon Dance, only with more speed. Morwild can't really touch Branch and she's able to get 3 Shift Gears off, maxing out her speed and raising her attack to +3. From here, I bring out the broom and I start sweeping. Morwild is first to go down with a Fire Punch. Gardevoir then gets punished with a Poison Jab, then it's Rapidash who falls to a Poison Jab from Branch. Last is Beed's Gigantamax Hatterene, but even this thing can't do a thing about it and falls to a Poison Jab. Next is Nessa and her Water types. As you'd expect, this is very one-sided for an electric team. Chick just single-handedly takes out all of Nessa's Pokemon one by one with Thunderbolts. The only exception is her Dreadnought, who Gigantamaxes and falls to a Max Overgrowth from Chick, which is quite effective. Nessa once again doesn't take the loss well and we move on. Now we need to deal with Bay and her fighting Pokemon. Carl is once again let off the leash and starts the fight with a bulk up, raising his defense and attack. Hawlucha hits Carl pretty hard with a high jump kick, but we're okay. Carl then takes out the Hawlucha with a big spark. Phalanx comes in and Carl goes for another bulk up while being hit by a Rock Tomb, lowering my speed. On the next turn, Carl can take out the Phalanx with a Psychic Fangs. Surfetch is next to come in, but this bird can't do anything as it falls to a Psychic Fang. Next is Grapploct, and Carl Dynamaxes and hits it with a Max Mindstorm, taking it out while also setting up the Psychic terrain. Finally, her Gigantamax Machamp makes his appearance, but is brought back down to size with a Max Mindstorm from Carl. Last we have Lee's greatest rival, Raihan, and because this is a singles fight, it's much easier to prepare for. I lead with Juvia and I hit Torkoal for big damage with an Earthquake. Torkoal yawns, so I decide to switch Lulu into a Body Press as I don't want Juvia to fall asleep. Juvia then comes back in, taking a Solar Beam on the switch due to the sun being up. One more Earthquake from Juvia takes out the Torkoal. Flygon is next to come in and it goes for a Sandstorm, allowing Juvia to take it out with a Dragon Claw. Turtonator switches in and is taken to the yellow with an Earthquake. It then goes for a Sunny Day, getting rid of the Sandstorm for some reason. On the next turn, I Dynamax and I go for a Max Knuckle, taking it out while raising my attack. Goodra then comes in, only to fall to a Max Wormwim from Juvia. Last is his Gigantamax Duraludon, and it outspeeds and hits Juvia with a G-Max Depletion, almost taking us out. Juvia responds with a Max Wormwim and it does just under half damage, which isn't very good. I switch in Xander, who can hit a G-Max Depletion on the switch in from Duraludon. And then on the next turn, I Protect to eat the Max Rocks Fall, stalling out all of its Gigantamax turns. Carl then comes in and takes out the Duraludon safely with a couple of Fire Fangs. Once again, Raihan wants to take a selfie, but we move on to the championship match. We head out to the center stage where Leon is waiting for us, and just before we can take him on, Chairman Rose decides to blow up the place. For story plot reasons, we grab ourselves a broken rusted sword, then we make our way out to take on Chairman Rose. Carl takes the lead for this fight and can safely bulk up a few times, raising both his attack and defense stat before going on a bit of a rampage. He Fire Fangs and Max Flare his way through all of Chairman Rose's Pokemon one by one. Even his Gigantamax Copperaja is melted into a puddle with a single Max Flare from Fangs. The Chairman thanks me for the fight, but I've got to go and help Leon. The Eternatus fight is actually pretty awkward as it randomly picks its moves. Thankfully, Lulu can take it out pretty comfortably with a few Ice Beams after paralyzing it. When it Dynamaxes, I play it ultra safe, allowing the dogs to do all the heavy lifting while I protect and switch Pokemon. We then catch Eternatus, saving the Galar region from total destruction. With that all done, there's only one thing left to do: take on the champion Leon in the final match. He throws his cape to the crowd and the match begins. I lead with Chick, who starts a fight by laying down some sticky web, slowing down all of Leon's future Pokemon. Aegislash hits Chick hard with a Shadow Ball, bringing her to the yellow. Chick then hits Aegislash hard with a Thunderbolt, who has paper defenses when in Blade form. Cinderace comes in, so I switch in Lulu, who takes a Pyro Ball reasonably well. Lulu can take out the Cinderace with a couple of Scalds while just barely surviving the Pyro Balls. Haxorus comes in and Lulu can outspeed because of the sticky web and do some good damage with an Ice Beam, but ultimately it falls to an Earthquake from Haxorus. Juvia comes in and takes out the Haxorus with a Dragon Claw to get revenge. Seismitoad is next, so I switch in Xander for free as it goes for an Earthquake and we have Levitate. Zender does big damage with a Bug Buzz, and Seismitoad uses Toxic, badly poisoning him. Zender then takes him out with a second Bug Buzz. Dragapult comes in and hits Zendo hard with a Flamethrower, leaving him in the yellow. Zender then goes for a Flash Cannon, doing respectable damage before falling to the second Flamethrower from Dragapult. Juvia comes in, and even with the Sticky Web, Dragapult is so rapid it can outspeed and hit a Dragon Breath. Juvia survives the hit pretty easily and can take out the Dragapult with the Dragon Claw. Last is Leon's Gigantamax Charizard, but because we outspeed with the Sticky Web, Bolt Break from Juvia does double damage, and with an Expert Belt, it's enough to get us the win. With that, we have now beaten Pokémon Sword using only shiny Electric-type Pokémon in a hardcore Nuzlocke. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.